Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Nola, and welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to talk about people or babies that are born with a veil, which is a term that is used, or with a-Caul, which is the actual term. A-Caul is spelled C-A-U-L. So there's mystery and meaning and ancestral truths about this. So it is something that is really ancient. It's something that's rare and something deeply personal to me. I was born with a-Caul, which is also a thin membrane over my face, and it's a phenomenon. So rare, it occurs in less than 1 in 80,000 births. Now, maybe you've heard of this, or perhaps you've never heard of such a thing, or you may be a new mom that has just given birth and you have this baby, or you've heard about it and you felt, well, maybe it's just a mystery, it doesn't mean anything. Or perhaps someone in your family was born that way and it was quickly dismissed as odd. Or maybe, just maybe, your grandmother whispered that it meant you had a gift. So let's talk about what the world says it means across cultures, across time, and across truth. I'm looking down because I've had some technical difficulties this morning. In fact, a lot of technical difficulties. So forgive me. I have some notes also. So what is a-Caul? I'm going to tell you the scientific and then the supernatural origins. A-Caul is a piece of the amniotic sac that remains over the baby's head or face at birth, and some are born fully on-Caul, meaning still inside the entire sac, and others are just partially covered. In hospitals, midwives or nurses sometimes remove it before they show it to the mother quickly, or not always telling the parents. And in days gone by or older times, these membranes were often kept and sometimes even sold, because the mystery doesn't lie in the science, it lies in the symbolism. So there are different cultural beliefs around the world, as you can imagine. So let me start first with the Celtic and the Irish cultural beliefs. With a-Caul, children with a-Caul were believed to be seers or poets. The caul was dried and often kept for luck or sold to sailors to protect them from drowning. Okay? It was believed that if they had a piece of this membrane, it would protect them from drowning. And then I'm going to speak now on the African and Afro-Caribbean thoughts or beliefs on the caul. It was a spiritual covering. Children were seeing as having a second sight, or divine connection, or ancestral protection that marked the destiny of that child. And then indigenous North America, among some tribes, a-Caul marked someone as a walker between two worlds, destined to be a healer, a guide, or a dream keeper. So that would be with some of our North American indigenous tribal people. But in Eastern European, there's mixed reverence and fear, which is said to, forgive me, which is said to be clairvoyant or healers, but often set apart from others. And then we have the Southern U.S. Christian tradition, something called anointing, sometimes feared, Pentecostal churches may view it as a sign of a spiritual calling or even spiritual warfare. So what my mom told me, that the call that I was born with was taken. She felt that the nurses actually stole it. Just a fact of what I was told. I'm not making any accusations. And my mother was a nurse. I come from a family of nurses and school teachers. And so I'm in my 60s now, and back then people believed perhaps differently as to the way that we believe now in modern times. So my mother believed that it should have been dried, a little piece of it should have been dried, it should have been ground up and put in my bottle to help settle the restlessness I've carried all of my life. But it was taken, she said, and likely sold, and that loss stayed with me. Since I was young, I've had a hunger to know things. I was the child that asked a lot of questions, that my mom even bought me a book called Every Child's Answer Book, because I always had a question. I wanted to know how chickens laid the eggs and how chickens were hatched and all of those questions. And I was always up late reading or writing. I was always filled with ideas and questions and a deeper sense that there was more. And added to that, my mom also encouraged us to read a lot. So my sisters, I'm one of 4 girls, and my sisters and I have been avid readers throughout our lives. But I think I was perhaps a little different to them, because my sisters actually said this. They always said I was afraid I would miss something because I was always up early in the morning. I was awake late at night. I'd be reading under the blankets with a flashlight or under the bed, the books that I was forbidden to read. And so I've always also had a restlessness of spirit. I've always been on a quest to know the whys and the wherefores of everything, of how the world functions, how people think, and perhaps you are that way. Now, some in this day and age may call it being on the spectrum, but I say there may be another reason. I have a friend of mine from Armenia who I told the story to, and she understood it immediately. And so she went to her mom and told her mom, and her mom made me, what I understand was a little prayer in a piece of cloth about this big, and she sewed it into this beautiful cloth, and she said I needed to pin it perhaps in my bra or inside of a shirt or something. She felt it would protect me, kind of like the evil eye bracelets or the cross that many Christians use, or whatever symbolism in Hinduism. I think it's called a thali. It's something like that. And so what this was given to me by Silva from her mom was to help to calm my spirit down. So it was like my mother's tradition, only from another culture entirely. And it told me that someone understood. Right? So in Hindu culture, I said it's worn for protection, for grounding, or marriage. Each of us has our rituals, and each one of those affirm we were never meant to walk unanchored. So the spiritual lens, is it a gift, a burden, or both? Now let me tell you that being born with the call, does not make me better than anyone else. Doesn't make me better than you, but it does explain things. The dreams, the knowing, the ache to make sense of the world. And also to be spiritually gifted to carry a lantern in a world that fears the light so often. And then there are days when that knowing feels heavy. I know you feel it too. And when you may wonder, as I do, whether I'm meant to see as much or you are meant to see as much and feel as much that you do. But I've also come to understand that it's not just about seeing, it's about feeling. And feelings are real, they're very real. And it's about finding the language for what our ancestors always knew. If you or someone you love was born with the call or carries that deep knowing, I want to tell you something. You are not alone. So please tell me your story. Ask your elders. Let's reclaim this truth together. And thank you for walking with me through the story. Whether you were born veiled or not, you carry something sacred. And today is the first day of summer. It is the 21st of June, 2025. And in some parts of the world, this is the first day of your winter. So I wish you peaceful season. May your burdens grow lighter, and may you see the light more clearly. Happy summer, happy winter, stay curious, and above all, please remember to be kind. Kindness is really important because everyone is going through something that you and I know nothing about. Right? But also, more than that, this is a call to you to be kind to yourself, to treat yourself with respect, with kindness, softness. Take time out to care for yourself, to nourish your body, to go for that walk, listen to nature, stay connected. All of your answers lie within you. Until the next time, do take care and bye for now.